This is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you can play a song by Pharrell Williams called Marilyn Monroe. And it starts off with these really cool hits, and we'll end up cabling this on first fret to kind of match the recording. We'll walk through a couple things in root position. And it starts off with this cool little intro, like where you could just play the open G string 3 times and kind of ride on that. Or you could back it up with a chord by playing first finger on the A string 2nd fret, second finger on the D string 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an E minor chord, and it sounds really sad. Now while you're on E minors in general, it can be kind of cool to add in the 3rd fret on the B string, kind of make that an E minor 7. Or you could add in the pinky on the high E string for an E minor 7. Or you'll definitely hear these cool little hits, especially in the verse, where you can kind of take the regular E minor and add in just the 3rd fret on the high E string, still an E minor chord. But then you may want to kind of take that finger and kind of slide it down to 2nd fret on the high E string. It's kind of an E minor 9 kind of an idea, kind of playing an F sharp on the high E. And then we'll kind of hear that F sharp go to the open E. So especially on the verse, you may want to kind of follow that kind of an E minor to E minor 9, E minor 9 to an E minor 9. But on that intro part, we almost end up with kind of 4 big hits, and you may want to do kind of a down and kind of kill the strings with the right hand. Just kind of make that really short kind of staccato idea. 2, 3, 4. And then we kind of hit our main chorus progression right after kind of that intro of kind of the E minor, where you'll hear this cool little bass line or kind of horn line where you can play open G, 2nd on the D, and open G, and then 2nd fret on the G string, and then we play some more of that. So you want to kind of follow that line, kind of O2, O2, 2, 2, 2, 2, O2, O2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And the chords that would back that up would start on the E minor for kind of that O2, O. But then when you go to that 2nd fret on the G string, you may want to make a change to an A major chord, where you do first finger on the D 2nd, 2nd finger on the G 2nd, 3rd finger on the B 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A major chord, and it sounds really happy. Now around A's in general, though, it can be kind of cool to lift off the 3rd finger, maybe an A sus 2. Or you could add in the pinky on the B string 3rd for an A sus, kind of say some things around the A. Or you may kind of dig on an A7 sus, where you do first finger on the D 2nd, 2nd finger on the G 2nd, 3rd finger on the B 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd, kind of working that for the A major. Or what I think really kind of matches the recording a little bit better is almost an A7 kind of an idea, where you take the A major and kind of lift off the 2nd finger, always a dangerous finger to lift. It sounds an A7 chord. Or you could readjust your fingers if you're slightly offended, and put the pinky in on the high E 3rd, and kind of work that for an A7. And then from the A major, A7 idea, it almost sounds like we changed to a minor. So we go from the happy A, big party on the 2nd fret, to an A minor chord. And when you play A minor, first finger goes to the B on the 1st fret, 2nd finger on the D string 2nd fret, and 3rd finger on the G string 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, oh, that's so sad. No, it sounds an A minor chord. Now you may also want to lift off the 3rd finger there, make that an A minor 7. Or you can add in the pinky on the high E 3rd for an A minor 7. Kind of following that lick idea that way. Or you could even take the A minor and like the A major, you could lift off the 1st finger, make that an A sus 2. So if you're just starting out, actually you could use that 2-finger A idea actually for your both A chords if you wanted to. And you could take the pinky and put them in on the B string 3rd for an A sus. So you could kind of say some things around the chord too. And on that part, you kind of hear that, almost kind of follow that bass line, kind of that E minor, A major, and then A minor, E minor, O2, A major, A minor. You end up doing that 4 times on our chorus. Now, there's a couple different strumming options you may want to think about through that part. You could kind of work just kind of a down idea. And almost kind of a 4 down on the E minor, 4 on the A, and then an 8 count on the A minor, if you kind of dig on that. E minor, da-da, A major, A minor. And I'm just kind of doing downs and adding a little bit of muting with the right hand. Kind of make that kind of sneaky. Or you could use a strum pattern. And one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So we took the E minor and just tried that a lot. You'd have down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. Now the weird part is that first E minor A don't last as long. So you may want to do just a down, down, up on each of those chords, and then do your A minor for the kind of the whole pattern. E minor down, down, up, minor with a down, down, hit the A on the up, down, up, and then go to the A minor with the kind of dig on that. That might be a cool variation. E minor down, down, A on the up, down, A minor down, down, up, down, A minor down, down, A on the up, down, A minor down, 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 up. Now another strum pattern, this can be really challenging actually through the tune, but that I would really think about using, is something called a 16th note strum pattern. And what I mean by that is if you're tapping your foot at the beat, right now we're dividing that beat into two parts that are down, down, up, down, up. Kind of a 1, 2, 1, 2. That's called an 8th note. What a 16th note is where you divide that into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of my favorite 16th note strum patterns is a long down, 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 up, down, down, up, down. And what I mean by that is if you take the E minor and do a down for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's what you'd be doing on the first beat. Then on the second beat, you do a down on 1, down on 3, up on 4. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. And then on the third beat, you'd be doing an up on 2, down on 3. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, up, down, 1, up, down, 1, up, down. And then on the last beat, you'd be going down, up, right along with the 1, 2, 3, 4. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So all together, you got down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 down. So if you kind of dig on that, you could do the E minor with the long down, 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 up, A with the long down, 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 up, and then the A minor with the whole pattern. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, E minor, down, down, up, A, down, down, up, E minor, down, down, up, down, down, down. Or you can split the pattern, kind of like we were doing with the down, down, up, down, up, and have the E minor, down, down, A on the up, down, down, up, down, and then hit your A minor with the whole pattern. And that can be really quick for the tune, but down, 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 A on the up, down, down, up, down, up, A minor, down, 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 down. So you want to kind of play around with that. And at a tempo that is kind of quick, so you may want to kind of take some time to kind of practice that. And then from that chorus part, then we go into our main verse. And you hear this cool little hit where you can play 3rd fret on the high E string, and then 2nd fret on the high E, and then 2nd fret on the high E, and then open E, kind of coming through the verse. And you could even do that with kind of that down idea, actually. You may want to kind of just follow the lick, actually, kind of 3, 2, 2, 2, when that part kind of comes in, and that can be kind of cool to just do downs and kind of kill the strings to kind of bring out that lick. Or you could add in some rhythm, and you could even just keep it around the E minor, actually, just the down, down, up, down, it could work. Kind of down, 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 or you may want to stay on the E minor and kind of follow that lick actually through that. Almost like the halving idea. Down, down, up on the F sharp, down, down, up on the E minor. E minor, down, down, shuffle up, down, F sharp, down, down, E on the up, down, kind of follow that lick. Or you could try the 16th idea that way, kind of the E minor, kind of see down, 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 down. That would be really, really quick, but very cool too. Or you could kind of work the strumming around the lick too. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. And I'm adding in some left hand muting there. So you could take that E minor or the E minor with the 3rd fret on the high E, and that down, down, up, and then maybe a down, down on the E minor 9. So E minor, down, down, up, E minor 9, down, down, and then you may want to kill the strings. And actually, you could even kind of do some left hand muting, kind of 3 down ups. Actually, with muting could be cool. Down, up, down, up, down, up. So I'm just taking the pinky actually in this particular case, but there's lots of ways to do this, and kind of mute the strings to kind of kill the strings. So kind of a down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down, mute, 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 down, 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 mute, 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 kind of an idea. experiment with that. And then we'll basically be mixing up those two parts through the song. Actually, in the bridge, you'll kind of hear some of the open E kind of come out around that lick too. That when I'm doing that hybrid picking, if you kind of dig on that, I'm taking my pick for my bass and kind of adding in some using my fingers for the other notes of the lick. And so you could kind of start with the open E with the 3rd fret on the high E string, and then go to the 2nd fret on the high E, and then 2nd on the high E, open E. 3, 2, 2, 2, 0, 0. If you kind of dig on that. And there's kind of this cool little sustained idea, actually, kind of on just the E note too. So you may want to kind of play around with that through the bridge part. It's really kind of almost like a verse variation. Now the weird part is to play along with Pharrell Williams though. Instead of starting on an E minor chord, he's starting on an F minor chord. So to play along with the recording, what you want to do is take a capo, and if you put the capo on 1st fret, then now your E minor is really an F minor chord, and your A major is really a B flat major chord, and your A minor is really a B flat minor chord. But to take it from the very beginning, you may want to kind of do that E minor push, kind of that down, 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 down. And then from there we kind of hit our chorus part. And you could kind of follow just that lick too, kind of that O, 2, O, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, O, 2, O, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Or you could work that around the chords. Da, 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 A minor. Kind of work hits is kind of an idea. E minor, O, A major, A minor, kind of an idea. Or you could round it out and just use the strumming, and you could have the downs, kind of that 4 down, and then the 8 down for the A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, A minor. Or actually on the E minor, it can be cool to do 3 plus 5 as kind of a division of the 8. Actually, E minor 1, 2, 3, A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A minor. Kind of an idea. E minor 1, 2, 3, A minor. Or you could use the down, down, up, up, down. E minor, A. Tricky if at faster tempos, but kind of E minor, A minor, E minor, A minor. Or you can mix it up a little bit. It's gonna be kind of cool too. And then we'll end up repeating that 4 times, and then we go into our main. And on the verse idea, you may want to try and bring out the kind of that 3-3. And then the 2 to the O, or even following just that one line. A 2 to O, or around the E minor. Or you could work just the downs. You're just starting out, you might just want to kind of stay on the E minor. And actually, you can even work little hammer-ons into the chord. It'd be kind of cool. Kind of playing the open strings and then kind of putting the fingers down through that part. So we want to clear off that. Or you could use the down, down, up, up, down. Kind of E minor, E minor, E minor. Or you could follow those notes of the melody around the E minor. Or you could use the 16. E minor phrase 4 times, and then we go back into our chorus part. Now, one other thing I think about adding to the song though is bass notes. And a lot of times on that first down, 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 up, up, down, up, you're doing a bass for the chord. So on the E minor, you have low E for the bass. On the A major, you have the A for the bass, and on the A minor, you have the A for the bass. So we could kind of take our chorus idea and kind of add basses to it, and you could work that as kind of that E minor to A with a bass down up on each chord, and then the A minor with the whole pattern. Down up A with an A bass, down up A minor. Or you can split the pattern with basses. E minor down A, up, down up A minor. E minor the bass, down A on the up, down A minor. chorus tag, kind of go to the E minor again, kind of getting set up for the verse at the very end. And you may want to kind of work on some hits on those E minors. Or you could use the 16th pattern, and you could add basses to that. You could work kind of a bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, with a bass, bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, with a bass, bass, down, down, up, bass, down, up, down. It can be cool. So keep on working as kind of the bass, down, down, up on the E minor, A, and then hit your A minor with the whole pattern. Taking that muting idea and trying to do the 16ths can be very, very cool, especially with the tune. So we want to play around with that too. And then from there, we go back into our verse. So you could add basses to that too and have kind of an E minor with the bass, down, up, down, E minor, bass, down, E minor, the bass, down, E minor. Or you could kind of use the 16th pattern. Really dig on that lick too. Play around with that. And then from that verse, then we'd be going into our next chorus. So back to our E minor, A minor. Now if you know other licks around these chords too, you know, feel free to take this lesson and run with it any way you want to. That before we go to the E minor. It's kind of that chorus tag. And then from there, then we go into our bridge part. And it's kind of like a verse variation, actually. Kind of hear that open E kind of getting used, and you may want to kind of use the other open E. It's kind of doing that hybrid picking idea. Or you could follow that lick. Might be kind of a cool idea too. Downscale the idea, and then from that bridge, then we kind of start our verse back up. You kind of hear that verse kind of coming back. And then from that verse, then we'd be going back into our chorus part. So we're back to our E minor. Hear this cool little guitar hit just using that open E on the high. So you may want to go back to a regular E minor at the very end. I'm kind of doing a little 16th variation there. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, bass, up, bass, up, down. So you kind of mixed it up that way too, actually. Now that could even be kind of a cool thing on the chorus too, if you dig on that variation. You have the E minor with the bass, up, A with the bass, up, down, up, and then the A minor with the whole pattern. E minor, bass, up, A, down, A minor, E minor, bass, up, A, minor, E minor, up, A minor. We got our chorus tag on the E minor. Riding it out on that E minor at the very end. Then we have a big E minor at the very, very end. But that's the basics of how you can strum through Marilyn Monroe by Pharrell Williams. So good luck.